so cold. Gotta get my... Oh, much better. Oh, my shirt's up. Oh, yes. When cold air hits your back, you can feel it. Hey, Siri, what's the weather?
It's currently clear and 18 degrees. Today's high is 32, and the low will be 17.
What is the wind chill?
The wind chill is currently 9 degrees Fahrenheit.
What is that in Celsius?
The wind chill is currently minus 13 degrees Celsius.
Oh, that's cold, huh? Thank you, Siri. Oh, that's cold. Well, this is the second night. We're supposed to be colder, and I'm out of breath. I had to rearrange everything inside my tarp here. Make sure everything's within finger touch. I zipped up my Western Mountaineering sleeping bag pretty much to the top. Climbed in, pulled it all up, and I've got it pretty high. Now, I'm slowly warming up. My body's warming up. It doesn't happen right away. It usually takes a good 15 minutes. Even with these gloves on, my fingers feel like sausages tonight. I do have another pair of gloves. I couldn't find them. I did look around for them. So that kind of sucked. Important rule. Make sure you know where your stuff is. It's not a big deal because I'll put it under my sleeping bag inside. When I did come out, my X pad was half air. So the cold air did take some of it out. I made sure to urinate before I came into the tarp. You want to walk around in the cold for a bit because it will activate you to urinate. And you want to get that out of your system. My coffee was only half drank from last night, and it was frozen, solid. And my water jug was also frozen. So I'm currently thawing that out. And then I'll place my water jug inside my sleeping bag. And definitely not leave any water inside my titanium cup. So we're at temperatures that everything freezes now. Everything. The weather is unforgiving. There is no room for mistakes at all. You have to understand that. To buy equipment and just all of a sudden shit hits the fan or your car breaks down or you're going to decide to use it, that's just setting yourself up for disaster. Now, for example, I have heavy-duty sleeping bags, one in the wife's car, one in my truck, that are good for minus 35. Artificial insulation, super heavy sleeping bags. I mean, they're like 6 pounds. But it doesn't matter because they're in a vehicle. Bought them years ago. Now, in my wife's car, I spread it out flat in the back so you don't even know it's there. But if you need it, you have it. The one that goes in my truck is folded once and it lays across the back seat. So that's there in case I need it. So basically, if the vehicle was to break down, now sure, we have cell phones. She could call me and I could go get her, but we are a long ways from nowhere. She could be, an hour away getting groceries. And, what if you don't have the money to tow the vehicle? Or what if you just don't have the money? I mean, I could hop in my truck, drive to her, but it's going to take me an hour. And she has to be able to survive during that hour. So that's what that's there for. I don't think being a prepper is buying a lot of gadgets. I think it's buying the right stuff and considering the situation you need to consider. So you figure I'm running a tarp setup with a tie back underneath me to keep the moisture off my equipment, more so than anything else. It has no insulation value whatsoever. And then the X-Ped is where the insulation is. And then, of course, my Western Mountaineering sleeping bag, which is now starting to warm up, thank God. You can't mess around with temperatures like this. Now, a lot of people run a hot tent, which is nice. I mean, because the entire room is hot and things dry, things don't freeze. There's a lot of perks to that. But let's understand something, okay? If I run a hot tent, I'm running a stove, and there's smoke coming out of that stove, and I'm drawing attention to myself. If I want to be able to, you know, be incognito and hide, then I don't want any fires whatsoever. I want people to think, well, nobody'd be back there. I mean, it's freezing. Who the heck would be back there, right? And I mean, I've only got lights on in here so you guys can see what's going on, but literally you would have no lights on whatsoever. So you would literally be sleeping in complete blackness and in the extreme cold part of the day. We can't get any colder. It's around, I don't know. Hey, Siri, what time is it?
It's 10:46 p.m.
So it's almost 11 o'clock. And we might get a degree or, thank you, Siri. She was sitting there spinning. So we might get a degree or two difference. But being I made it last night, I noticed my audio was kind of low. And that's like anything. When you try to do something, like when I'm sitting at my desk, I know where my audio has to be. I know how loud I have to talk. I mean, that entire scenario, literally, when I load it to my computer, the editing time is unbelievably quick. But when you start putting yourself into different situations, like in a tarp, in a tent, you're walking, you're vlogging, everything changes. So now you're actually spending more time editing, is what it is. Now you take the setup I've got in here. I've got a camera down there with a light unload that'll run most of the night. And now I'm trying to do a time lapse that takes the pictures longer to see how that turns out. Then I've got a light over here that's on me, which was kind of flickering, which I don't know if it's breaking or what's happening as the cold slowly destroyed it, but it seems to be staying on now. Now, the cold is horrible on batteries. It really is. It's just horrible. Now, the camera down there is on an external battery, so it's probably okay for at least a good 3 or 4 hours. The camera I'm recording on now with my microphone over here, I'm going to have to detach from the tripod and shove it inside my sleeping bag along with my phone, is what I'm going to have to do. My stove's over there. Now, yesterday I had my stove where it was kind of tipsy. I've now got a metal thing underneath there to give it a lot of brace, so there's no way it can fall over now. I have a lot of equipment, but organizing it has become a battle. It really has. That's why when I go backpacking, I have to lay everything out on the floor and I have to give it a lot of thought. I use that one website to check weights, but also to make sure I don't leave anything behind. And that's very important. You can't mess with cold temperatures. You really can't. They'll do you in. And one mistake, just one mistake, will frig you up. And that's why you literally have to test out in your yard when it gets cold like this and make sure the gear you've decided to buy and use is going to do what it's supposed to do. Now, if you're car camping, well, weight's not an issue. So you can, live like a king. You can bring buddy heaters. I mean, you can live and have a lot of heat, is what you can do. I don't think a buddy heater would do any good inside a tarp, to be honest with you. I think the ground would just suck most of it away. But like I said, I don't want to run any type of heating source. And when you start running, any type of heating source, you start getting carbon monoxide poisoning. And you have to be aware of that. So, in my view, there are two ways to go. One, you go with a hot temp, but you're not getting much sleep. Or you go the way I've gone with a heavy duty sleeping bag and a $1,000 sleeping bag, a really good one, like Western Mountaineering, and a really good pad like Xped. And now you're doing pretty amazing. Now, the thing about Xped is you have to consider this pad's about 2 pounds. So let's say I put my pack on and I decide to go out in the bush, right? And okay, nothing's really going to happen to my sleeping bag unless I put a fire up and then I damage it that way. So if I'm pretty decent, my sleeping bag should be okay. The only thing that I could lose is my pad. So it might even be a good idea to bring a second pad and have it off to the side, even though I'm carrying an extra 2 pounds. Because if this pad gets a hole in it and it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're trying to patch this in freezing temperatures, oh, you're going to pull your hair out. It's not going to be what you expect. And without this thing aired up, I have no insulation from the ground whatsoever. And that is not good at all. There are just certain pieces of gear when it gets super cold that you rely on. And it has to be sleeping bag, pad, gloves, hat. I mean, and you think the clothes I'm wearing right now, I'm wearing your Army waffle long johns. That's it. So I'll get on. And I've got a merino wool long sleeve shirt on. And I've got this thin jacket on. That's it. I don't have anything else on. I don't have any heavy duty things. Now, one thing I should look into is a pair of feathered booties. And they're not cheap either. They're around $100. But I noticed my feet are getting a little bit cold. Now, my feet have never been cold. So this is new, probably be because of my age of 61, that things are changing. And that's just the way it is. So I'm going to have to look into that. And you learn that by testing. Okay, that's the thing. And you don't even have to test. You don't have to go all night like I do. You could turn around and go out for 3 hours, a 3-hour test, and see if you're comfortable. And if you can do those 3 hours and you're comfortable, have yourself a coffee or tea, whatever you drink, and get a feel for how it feels. That's going to give you an idea of what's going on. So now I'm going to take a little nap, and if I wake up, I'll come back to you. But I got to take all this stuff down and put it inside my sleeping bag. Is what I have to do. And then get my hands warm because my fingers are starting to feel like sausages. I'll be back.